What's up, my friends? Welcome to Stillwater America Podcast. We sit down with the extraordinary people who do life in Stillwater, Oklahoma, because we believe that every story should be told. I'm here with Hanna Runner. My name is Les Thomas, but before we get to Hanna, please jump on this conversation and share, subscribe this podcast. Also, leave a comment, tell your friends about it, and follow us on Instagram at Stillwater America. Come on, somebody. Hanna, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so glad that you are here today.
I'm so happy to be here. I think we've tried 3 times to get me here. And I finally made it.
It is all Heady's fault.
Yeah, I blame Heady.
No, one time it was definitely me, but I'm so glad you are here. So, Hanna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I was born and raised in Perkins, Oklahoma. Yeah. So just south of Stillwater.
Yeah.
But I actually moved away my sophomore year of high school. My uncle had an accident on our family farm back home. So we moved to Illinois. And I decided after going to JUCO and playing softball, I wanted to come back to Stillwater, which I always knew I wanted to go to OSU.
Yeah.
JUCO was just kind of a little stepping stone to get there. Out-of-state tuition is pricey. So
okay.
That was my little stepping stone to get there. And then finished out my last 2 years at OSU. Yeah. And now I'm a full-time wedding photographer.
Come on, somebody. Come on. I love it. So let's dive into Perkins. So tell us, what was it like growing up in Perkins?
Perkins was great. Honestly, we spent a lot of time in Stillwater, though.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm, or a ranch. They call it a ranch here in
So
Oklahoma.
what all did y'all have there at the ranch?
So my dad ranches cattle, so Angus cattle.
Okay.
Yes, and then I grew up showing livestock, too. So I was like the typical FFA girl. I did 4-H.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I showed sheep and cattle, and I actually showed pigs once, too. It wasn't for me, though.
Yeah.
I was
she said, let me
gal.
stick to the cattle.
Yeah. So grew up in Perkins doing that. A lot of times we would go to Stillwater just to go to Boomer Lake. We'd go to the movie theaters. The movie theaters was honestly, that's the hangout spot.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's what the Stillwater kids do, but that's what the Perkins kid did.
Okay.
We'd go to the movie theaters. We would buy one ticket and stay. We go to the bathroom.
See, back then you could do that. You could do that. Buy one ticket and stay there all day.
Yes, you could just stay. So that's what we did. But now I feel like it's really frowned upon. Probably was then too, but.
But back then we kids, you do what you do. Have you ever thought about? You just said something. Just a sidebar conversation. How do we have a lake called Boomer in Stillwater?
That's a really good question.
I mean, we can't no legislation or we need to do something about that. What do you think? Are you okay with it being called Boomer?
Oh my gosh, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, it's called Boomer Lake. Somebody should, you know what? Someone should crawl up on the pole and spray paint over Boomer.
I'm going to spray paint Pokes over it. Why do we not call it Pokes Lake?
Yeah, we need to call it Pokes Lake.
Or
How
Cowboy
about that?
Lake.
Cowboy Lake.
Cowboy Lake. Oh my gosh.
Come on, someone out there listening. Let's change it to Cowboy Lake.
Let's start a petition. I'll start the petition. Y'all sign it.
Yep. So Hanna will be there. Then I'll be in the second spot. Then we need, let's say 20,000.
20,000.
We can get 20,000 people to sign that, I'm sure.
Okay.
All right. So you grew up in Perkins, and then you said you ended up in Illinois when your uncle had an accident. Tell us about that transit. What was it like? I mean, your sophomore year in high school, you have your family, you got your friends. That had to be a tough transition for you. It was
tough. Honestly, that was probably one of the toughest obstacles I have overcome. But I will say, I think my parents just raised us well enough that, you love on everyone.
Yeah.
And they'll love on you.
Yeah.
So most of the time, not always.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. It was tough for me just to leave my friendships behind, which most of them I still have, which is great.
Cool.
We picked up where we left off.
Cool.
But when we got to Illinois, my little sister is only a year and a half younger than me. So we're pretty close.
Shout out to Haley.
Yeah, shout out to Haley. We're pretty close, though. So whenever we moved, we were both in high school, and it was easy for us to kind of pick up and make friends.
Yeah. You were together. You were a package deal.
We were a package deal, yeah. If I made a friend, it was her friend, too. Yeah. So, yeah. It made it easier.
So what part of Illinois?
Middle of nowhere.
Y'all should, if you listen, you should have, her face, she said, she made this face
I'll tell you the story. So my dad's from there. Obviously, my parents are both from there.
Okay, cool.
So I remember them telling us there's 3 schools you can go to. One of them's Carthage. which was a little further away. It was like a 30-minute drive from where we'd be living.
Yeah.
One of them was Macomb, which was a bigger town. There's actually a college there called Western University.
Okay.
Not very big, probably 2 to 5,000, I would say, actually, people. So then there was a town called Scioto, and the school was West Prairie. And so he takes us to that school. That's where he really wants us to go.
Yeah.
Because the house we were planning on buying, side story, that's the house that my parents they lived in when they first got married.
Really?
So yeah, so they ended up buying that same house. So this is the school they want us to go to.
Okay.
And so he shows us it and fails to tell us that the football field is the actual football field. He told us it was the practice field, and the football field was at a different location.
That's what he... No way.
Yeah. So my little sister and I are just touring these schools, and we see this one. We're like, wow, the football field, like the practice football field's pretty nice. I mean, it's really small. Yeah. Stands fit like maybe 30 people, but it's fine. So we ended up choosing that school and then go to the very first football game. And my dad's like, it's just right over there.
No way.
Yes, we were so mad. We wanted to transfer.
Oh, no.
We wanted to transfer schools so bad, they made us stay. So.
Shout out to your dad running one over you. That was, you know what? Wow, yeah, I know. Especially at that age, I'm sure y'all had like big attitudes, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I still have an attitude. I try to keep it in check, but
that is so funny. All right, so you graduate there in Illinois, and you go to a JUCO.
Yes.
All right, so tell us about that. Tell us the sports you played. Tell us about it.
I always knew I wanted to play softball or basketball in college.
Okay, there we go.
Actually, Perkins was kind of my stepping stone for that. Our softball team was really good. Our basketball team was top notch. Everybody probably knows Perkins goes really far every year for basketball. So I was really headed towards basketball. Whenever we moved to Illinois, I decided softball was going to be my strong point because our basketball team was terrible. They hadn't won a game in 3 years since we got there. So
really?
Yeah. So
that changed when you got there though, huh?
It did change a little, but I wasn't good enough for it to change a lot. So I decided softball is probably the way to go. We got second in state my senior year, and that's when I started to get to get coaches scouting me. So I ended up going to Quincy, a little JUCO called John Wood there. So it's just right on the border of Missouri and Illinois.
Okay.
So yeah.
How far away was that from home?
It was about an hour and a half. Hour drive. Not too bad at all. Yeah. So loved my coach. I made so many great friendships. I actually live with one of the girls still that was on my softball team. I talked her into going to OSU.
Really?
She wanted to go to Western, and Western's Western's a great school. Yeah. But I knew for what she wanted to do and who she is as a person, she needed to go somewhere big like Oklahoma State. So talked her into going to Oklahoma State, and we lived together to this day. She actually works for OSU.
Wow.
So,
Come on.
I know.
What's her name?
Her name's Addison.
Shout out to Addison. Yeah. Coming to, the big, small town of Stillwater. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. She's made it her home. She has made it her home. She never wants to go back to Illinois, so makes me happy.
All right, so you're playing softball, right? And you must be doing a really good job. And while you're playing softball, you're thinking, man, I want to go to OSU, right? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in between going somewhere else and OSU just because I had a scholarship to go somewhere else to play softball.
Okay.
Didn't get any recruits from OSU. I didn't really try though, so that makes it it makes it hard. So I knew Stillwater was the place I wanted to end up though. So I decided to come here, reconnect with all my old friends, and then just live life in Stillwater. I wanted to take a step back from the full-time job of playing sports in college.
I got you. Yeah.
So
just be a student.
Be a student, yes.
And now you had a football field that was like a legit football field.
Yeah, legit football field. Yeah, I'm at Boone Pickens every single game day. If I miss a game day, it's because I have a wedding, but I really try to schedule my weddings around game days.
Yeah.
So I'm a dedicated fan.
So there we go. Hey, come on now. We're loyal and true. That's how I go.
Loyal and true.
Loyal and true. So
B-O-U.
You can, come on. Who are they? Like that's the school down south. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to say, oh, you. Right? So like I'll usually say the school down south,
No, I'm not gonna dog on them.
I am, Hannah. I am. Anyway, I'm being silly right now. Shout out to them. No shout out to them. No shout out to them. I'm back. So anyway, all right. So Hanna, so you're back in Stillwater. You're attending OSU.
Mm-hmm.
Your family, your parents, are they still in Illinois?
So yeah, my parents actually to this day still live in Illinois.
Okay.
But they're planning on moving back within the next 3 years. I just had a little nephew. So my sister had a baby.
Come on.
So yeah, so there's 3 of us girls.
Yeah.
Harley's the oldest. She had a baby. So
she's here too.
She is here.
So did she ever leave?
She came back on the summers. She was in college whenever we moved, but she came back for the summers and stayed in Illinois with us.
Yeah.
And then came back for school. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So all 3 sisters went to Oklahoma State University.
We all 3 went to Oklahoma State, and we all 3 stayed here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So mom and dad will be back soon.
Boom. Shout out to mom and dad coming back in 3 years.
Yeah.
So you're at O State. A lot of times it's hard for people to know what their major is going to be, right?
Yeah.
Did you? Mm-hmm. So tell us about what was the process for you to figure out this is what I want to major in?
I tell you what, anyone that's struggling with what they want to do, that was me. That was me. I was going pre-med at first. That's what I had thought I wanted to do until my junior year. I wanted to be a PA. So pre-med was kind of the course for that. And so my junior year, I decided this is not for me. My grandma had heart surgery, and I kind of just got the background of it from her doctor, just knowing, wow, you're here all the time. All the time. Yeah. And you can't really have a family life. The family life I desired, you couldn't really have.
Yeah.
So I kind of started looking at different options, and I sat down and talked to my advisor, and he was like, why don't you go into entrepreneurship, something in the business world?
Yeah.
Because I'd been doing photography, but I didn't think that was by no means did I think I'm going to be a full-time photographer. Yeah. Never thought I was good enough. I never just, didn't think that was me. So I was like, okay, I'll do this and we'll kind of see what happens. Yeah. I've always known I was kind of an entrepreneur. I've made signs growing up. I've made t-shirts. I had a little boutique in college that I ran to.
So you always had that entrepreneur bug in you, like already doing things.
Yeah. So he told me, go entrepreneur and get a minor in marketing. So that's what I did. So my senior year was cramming classes in. Really? Yes. Yeah, because you're trying to get... Just because I was trying to get... I had a couple prereqs that I had to have for business. So crammed it all in within my last semester junior year, and then summer, and then full senior year. I studied abroad in Europe, actually.
Come on now. And, tell us about that.
It was amazing.
We can't just we got to drop a pin right there. Tell us about Europe.
So Europe is awesome. Their lifestyle is a lifestyle I strive to live.
Come on.
They just they're so laid back and relaxed. And that's how we should be. I don't know why we're always, as Americans, I feel like I don't speak for everyone. I speak for myself. But we're always in a hurry to get somewhere, to do something. And in Europe, it's late waking up. They sweep off their sidewalks. Yeah. I mean, who sweeps their sidewalks in Stillwater? Can we start doing that?
I don't think I've seen one person sweep their sidewalk.
Yeah. So it was just awesome. Yeah. I loved it. I loved the community too. Yeah. So you'd sit down and have dinner. And it's not so much... eat, like we're here to get food and then leave. It was more so like we have dinner because we have community.
Come on.
So we have community that gathers, and then we're just going to eat something while we're here.
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
You would be at a restaurant for 3 to 4 hours.
What?
Yeah.
See, here they trying to kick you out.
They are. And they have so many servers here. So there's probably, what would you say, like maybe 10 servers at a restaurant. Yeah. They'd have 2 servers there.
Really?
Yeah. Just
so
because.
That's why. So they didn't have to worry about like here. It's like they're trying to get their money. So it's like you messing with my money. You need to eat and go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get these tips. Yeah. Eat and get out.
Yes.
It's funny when they be looking at you kind of funny out their eyes. Like, do you need anything else? Do you need anything else?
They're trying to tell you to leave. Do the walk by and side eye you.
Do you need to-go boxes? Sorry, my stuff is already in the to-go box. I'm just sitting here having a conversation. Oh, well, do you need a plastic bag? Oh, where the restroom or whatever. They want you to leave.
I just love the community aspect of it over there.
I'm going to start telling them I'm from Europe, man.
I'm from Europe. Yeah.
We sit down for 2 or 3 hours. Don't stop me.
Don't plan on dinner for an hour because we're going to be there for 3. No, that's why I really like going to Zanotti's in Stillwater. Yeah. I think that they have a very... just like a European feel for their community. I feel like if I go to Zanotti's, I'll sit and just like snack on pizza and chat with my friends.
So is that your spot to go to?
That's my spot to go.
So now let's drop a pin there. Now we went from Europe. Now we're back to Stillwater.
We're everywhere.
Tell us your place. What's your places you like to hang out?
Oh, there's so many. I don't want to like call out one and leave someone out. But Zanotti's, I'm telling y'all, Zanotti's is
I've never been there.
You should go.
Come on. I have to go now.
Yes. Anyone who's listening, if you haven't tried it out, go. It's awesome. So it's a wine bar actually, but they have great food.
Yeah.
And they have a little patio space too. So summertime, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Just to hang out on their patio. My sister and I go there a lot and just chat, invite our friends. So one of my best friends, actually, I bought a dresser from her on Facebook Marketplace in Stillwater.
Okay. Yeah.
And we decided to go to the wine bar with a group of friends, and we're all just really close now. I feel like Zanotti's, we sat there for 4 hours that night.
So that's why you say you like it, because you can just sit there and
chat.
No one is rushing you to get out of there.
Yes, and I know some people get anxious. Like I have friends that get anxious just being in one place for too long.
Yeah.
So there are people that get that way. So, but I promise Zanotti's just the vibe in there, the lighting.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Come on.
Yes.
And lighting matters because of what you do in your job. You know how.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this thing called Hoya. I think that's how you pronounce it. So it's why people overseas are so much more just like lively than us, which I think we're all lively, but overhead lighting is not good for us.
Really?
So you should have more like fluorescent lamp lights, candle lights, fireplace light, natural light coming in. That should be more like the lighting vibe. And then also it's giving gifts to people when they leave your house. So I've started giving people plants when they leave my house. I'm a crazy plant lady. So
Hanna, you teaching us right now. I mean, like, this is like Hanna one-on-one class right now. You are teaching us Americans how life should be.
I'm just starting to practice it, so we'll see if it actually works.
So I'll follow up with you here in about 6 months.
My friend actually told me about it, so I'm going to try it out. We'll see. I've been trying to use more natural light in the house and then lamps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, so
we'll see. We go. Hey, it's all about setting the mood and making sure you enjoying life. And don't have a light above your head.
Yeah, don't.
In all the rooms, we got that ceiling fan right there, right, with the light right above our head.
Yes, you know what? House. Yes, I've realized that I actually don't like the lights on. I've just noticed that about myself.
Really?
I feel like I have the lights off a lot and just natural light coming in. Yeah. I think that's just, I don't know, maybe a photographer's standpoint.
Yeah.
I am a natural light photographer, so.
It's probably better for our eyes when I think about it.
Yeah, like this light right here is blinding me. No, I'm kidding.
I know it's all Heady's fault. I can't believe Heady got these lights. So here we go. Like, so you graduate and you said that, photography is something that you did. Wasn't, it wasn't a huge part of your life, but it's something that you just like to do on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
So tell us about, what helped you say, okay, this is something I want to do, like I want to pursue. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I had a camera in my hand from when I was probably 12, and my sister was doing a class. I had a photographer. It was like a photography class she had to take, and she gave me her camera, and I loved it. Oh, I loved photography. It was kind of my little, I've always been an artist. Yeah. So it was my little art. Yeah. It was my little art. Yeah. Creative outsourcing I could do. Yeah. And through college, God was really speaking to me. I just didn't notice.
Yeah.
He would bring me all these seniors, and they'd be like, take my picture. I'm like, I'm not that good. I'm not that good.
Yeah, but they coming to you for a reason.
Which back then I was not. If you looked at my stuff back then, you'd be like, oh, why do we pay this girl to take pictures of us? No, but I feel like God really kind of spoke to me through that last season there at OSU.
Yeah.
My senior, junior year, I took it on so many seniors. Just so many, especially my senior year. But I feel like typical me, I was charging $50 a senior.
Oh, hey, but in college, that's some good money.
Yes, my friends I didn't charge, obviously. But people I didn't really know charged $50.
Good deal.
Looking back now,
you should have charged them $500.
Should have charged $500.
She said $500.
Should have charged more though. That's okay though. It got my foot in the door. I was just doing it for fun. I was doing it for my creative kind of outsourcing there.
Yeah.
So I actually went into coordinating. I was a intern with a wedding coordinating company in college, my very last year.
Okay.
And I decided I'm so good at being in charge. I'm gonna do this. Like, I need to be an event coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very bossy.
Come on. She said,
Honestly.
I'm bossy.
I am. I just have to be. Not that I have to be in charge. I just feel like
That's where you thrive.
I see
It's
initiative,
okay.
and I'm like, okay, nobody else is leading. I'm gonna lead.
Okay, there we go. That's, you're a bona fide leader, just a natural born leader.
I guess
Come
so.
on.
Yeah. So
You got to be a little bossy when you're a leader. I mean, you know,
Yes.
as long as you loving on people, you know, and giving some attaboys and patting on the back, but you got to kind of like be able to take charge a little bit, right?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. So I was a wedding coordinator for 3 years, right out of college.
Okay.
I want to say my last year, I was kind of getting more into the photography. I was just getting a lot more inquiries. This was God saying like, hey, what'd I tell you?
Yeah. He's reminding you, tap, tap, tap. I
So,
told you.
yes.
I told you.
So I actually was coordinating a wedding, and the photographer got really sick. She passed out in the bathroom. It was probably 30 minutes until ceremony. And I remember going in to check on her, and I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, what do we need to do? Can we
these
figure
pictures gotta
this
be
out? Yes, like this
This
is
is a moment.
important.
Yeah.
You're preserving.
I mean, you passing out is important, but also like the bridesmaid ain't trying to hear that you passed out. She want her pictures, right?
Let me call the cops that can take you, they'll escort you. And I'll take your camera. No,
Yeah.
I told her I have experience with Canon. I do photography. I'm not near as good as you, but I can make it happen if you want me to. So actually, the ambulance came and picked her up, and she gave me her camera. She showed me where her extra cards were, showed me where her battery was, and I shot the ceremony.
Wow.
I shot the remainder of the night too. So family photos, ceremony, sunset
Everything.
photos, reception. I will tell y'all, I was not that great with flash. Had no clue. Had no clue how to use flash at that point in time.
Yeah.
And I remember sticking it on the camera and being like, how do I turn this on?
Yeah.
I'm YouTubing stuff to try and figure out how to work it. Yes.
Yeah.
But after that wedding, she reached out to me and she just told me how much of a saving grace I was.
Yeah.
And she said the pictures were phenomenal. And basically just said, hey, if this is an industry you're kind of looking at, I think you should look into it. So,
wow.
And
so here's a competitor.
And yes,
that's
and
telling you
is,
that you should do this.
Yes. And
Come
that is
on.
something that I stand by. And I've never even thought that through just from her saying that. But that is something I stand by in this industry. This is a hard industry to be in because there is a ton of photographers. There's a ton of venues.
Yeah.
There is a ton of videographers. The wedding industry is tough.
Yeah.
And something I've always stood by is just picking up other vendors. I don't care if you're a competitor.
Yeah.
I don't care if
Come on.
I want to make you feel loved.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and like it's art. Just like another artist looking at somebody else's work.
Yeah.
I just think it's good to see somebody else's work and think, wow, that's great. It might not be my style, but it's their style, it's their art.
Yeah.
So I appreciate photographers just because it is a form of art and we all have our differences. And it's so crazy how one photographer can be so much different from another one. Like their art can just look so much different.
I don't think people realize how hard it is to be a photographer and to capture the right moment, to have the right setting. Because it's more than just, and this is from a guy that I don't know much about.
Your iPhone over there.
I got my iPhone. I mean, hey, I need to learn how to work the little filters and stuff. But, I got my little iPhone. But, it's harder than just picking up that Canon and just taking it. Like you said, in that moment, you didn't know how to work the flash. So, like, it's so much you got to learn. And what's the best setting for this? What's the best lens and all that? And so, I mean, I think it's so much. I think I appreciate photography more being here, working at OSU now, looking at all the pictures that's captured.
Yeah.
To know that, like, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So here it is. So, shout out to, God coming through the second time. The first time was all these seniors asking you for pictures. Yeah. And then God comes back around and say, now I done told you. Now I gotta let my daughter pass out in the bathroom and to get this camera in your hands.
Yeah, he's like, why you gotta do that to her?
But she ended up being okay, right? Because she came back and said, hey, if this is something you want to do, so boom, here it is. So, I mean, that's amazing how things happen and how God allowed things to happen to bump us into purpose. And so tell us, what was it like saying, okay, I'm going to do this. You know that you want to do it. cameras are expensive, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have the money to invest in that, right?
Yes.
And you're a wedding coordinator. Tell us about the transition into saying, okay, now I'm going to be a photographer.
Yes. Okay. So I told myself, I'm going to give myself 6 months. Let's see if I can make this happen.
Yeah.
And so I started just taking on seniors. I started pushing my marketing.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends is a videographer. Her name's Sierra, and she was one of the bigger supporters in this. She kind of showed me, she didn't shoot Canon, she shot Nikon, but she showed me kind of like just the ropes of how to get things done. So she was a huge help to this. But I just kind of pushed marketing, pushed seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And within 6 months, I felt like I had enough, just like clientele. My name was out there enough that I could pull back and take the leap. So I quit my full-time job. Okay. And I just took on photography head on. A videographer from down in just southern Oklahoma asked me to go to Colorado with them, actually. And they weren't going to pay me or anything. It was just kind of like, you hop in the car, you go, you take pictures for us, and then come back, which I thought was the greatest. If I see a photographer trying to make their way, that's kind of what I do, is I just invite them, be like, hey, come shadow me at this wedding, second shoot. Yeah. And get your foot in the door. Yeah. Kind of get an idea. But
learn the ropes and see how it goes.
Yeah. So that wedding that I did in Colorado with them, I think is kind of what set me off. Okay. That's when I was like, I can totally do this. Yeah. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. God just showed me through that whole entire trip that was where I needed to be, and I was where he had planned for me to be. So
I think one thing that's really cool about this story is you realize that, because sometimes people miss opportunities by, don't get me wrong, you got to get paid. You have to get paid. Yeah. But here's a situation where you didn't make any money, but that ended up planting the seed to say that, okay, it's time. Mm-hmm. Like someone said, roll with me, come shadow. And in that moment, you realize, now, if you would have said, no, I want to get paid, you would have missed that opportunity.
Exactly.
Now, when Jim and Sarah and Les and Bob call you, that's different. They got to pay. Yeah. But that was an opportunity for you to learn in that moment and say that, it helped you be where you at now. So speaking of Bob, Sarah, Les, Jamie, whoever that call you for pictures, tell us about, like, this is just a side note, and I just want to ask, what do you do when people say, can you take my pictures for free?
I've actually never had, luckily,
really?
I've never had anyone, yes. And I tell you what, God brings me the best couples too. Yeah. I have had the greatest couples throughout. I've only been doing this for a year and a half, almost 2 full time. Yeah. And I have had the most amazing couples. That's cool. They're all so great. And my seniors are great too. So I've never had anybody ask me that. But if somebody came up to me and said, can you take my pictures for free? I'd probably say something along the lines of, well,
first you hit them with the smile.
What do you do for work?
First you hit them with the smile. Yeah. Right?
I would smile and say, what do you do for work? And see what they say. I don't know. What do you do for work? Tell me.
Me? Okay. Yes. So, I am a executive director of campus engagement at Urban Bridge. So I work with the youth. It's a nonprofit organization. It's a mentor program. So we work with at-risk youth, where we believe that your demographic should not determine your destiny.
Wow.
You weren't expecting that, huh? She was like, so.
So I know Wes does. He's a spokesperson at OSU too.
Well, that too.
All the game day stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's the stuff I guess I should have
That'd be like me saying, hey, you want to come and just like be on the mic and have your really cool attitude all for 4 hours for the football game and not get paid?
Come on now. But you'd be surprised how many people ask me to come MC things for free, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It happens all the time.
Wow. Well, you
all
have
the
a
time.
great voice.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, having that voice and the personality, I mean, when you put those together, I just try to use it. It's gifts from God. The same way God gave you the gift of having that eye, being able to capture that moment.
Yeah.
God just gave me the ability to run my mouth, so I try to do it.
That's what my parents would say about me, too.
Really? Also, so at home, you the one that run your mouth a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm the middle child. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You got to let them know where you stand.
I've got to. Yes.
I may be in the middle, but I'm in the front and the back. Let them know. You got to move that head, too. You got to move that head, too. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh,
so you said you had 2 siblings, 2 sisters.
I do, yes.
Tell us a little bit about them.
My little sister works in the president's office, actually, in Stillwater.
Shout out to Haley.
Yeah, OSU president's office. She is Darren's assistant.
Okay.
So he's done some amazing stuff. I'm sure a lot of the people listening are OSU fans, but him and Casey have just done amazing things in the office.
Oh, absolutely. Love them.
Yeah, so they're great. Haley is wonderful. She lives in Stillwater too, and she actually went away for a couple of years and then came back. So that just shows you what Stillwater is. It's home.
Uh-huh.
It is home to so many. She didn't feel at home in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And even though she lived in a cute little town, it just didn't feel like home.
Yeah.
I think the people in Stillwater really are what make us who we are.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's loyal and true. It's the family atmosphere. It's I have your back. I mean, and Stillwater has really grown, but it's small enough where it still feel like family and intimate.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, okay, let's say, I'm about to get married and I want to get this amazing Hanna, what is your business called again?
Hanna Runner Photography.
Hanna Runner Photography.
What makes me a little different, because Hannah's kind of a common name.
Okay.
My name's H-A-N-N-A, so there's no H at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people mistakenly will look me up.
Yeah, so it's H-A-N-N-A.
Yes, uh-huh.
Come on, I love it. So your parents was like, I'm going to call her Hanna, but I'm going to name her.
I'm going to make it different.
There we go. Let's make it. I love it. So, how do they get in touch with you?
So honestly, a lot of my inquiries right now are word of mouth.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, so Instagram and word of mouth. I do have a website in the works for a new one right now. Okay. So I hired a little girl.
What's your Instagram? I almost said
Hanna
Enneagram.
Runner Photography.
How did I almost say what's your Enneagram?
I'm a 7.
Wow, you are?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't done it, but so many people say they say I think I'm a 7. So,
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Boom. I guess I need to learn about it. So what's your Instagram?
My Instagram's Hanna Runner Photography. So I try to keep it the same all throughout.
There we go.
Hanna
without the
H. Everywhere without the H.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll never forget I told someone, my name's Hanna without the H. And they were like, oh, so Anna.
No, I said Hanna. Hey, that's funny because my email address and my Instagram used to be Bless the Mic because my rap name was Be Less, but I would always say it was Bless the Mic without an S, and they were like, without an S, like so like bless with just one S, and the mic, right?
But then the mic,
yeah, Bless the Mic. So you have to tell them Hanna without the H at the end.
At the end, gotta leave at the end in there, so don't think my name's Anna. But yes.
So tell us about what's now it might be hard for you to single out your favorite wedding or which one you like the most, but tell us about one of your favorite moments, if you will. Shout out to everyone you've taken a picture for, because we know that all of them are your favorite moments.
Yes.
But we just need one. Give us a moment like a wedding that really blew your mind and you was like, these pictures came out amazing, or these people are amazing, or this person spent on their head at the reception or whatever. Like, tell us about a great memory.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you too, just because I didn't touch on my sister, and when she listens to this, she might be angry at me. So Harley is my other
Harley,
sister.
Shout out to Harley.
So at her wedding, they got married by my grandfather.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so that was probably my favorite moment, just seeing him cry up there.
Yeah.
Marrying them. And it was just lots of tears, lots of happy tears that day. So having a family member be your officiant, I think, or even just a friend, I think that's so awesome. Big deal. Yeah, I mean, they're your community. And if you have a reverend or pastor that will do your wedding and you have a relationship with them,
Yeah.
that's also awesome. But
Yeah.
I just love that little tweak of bringing in a family member that means a lot to you and has
Yeah.
been there with your
And Grandpa,
walk.
come on now.
Yes.
He was there like putting you on his lap and
Yes.
doing a little horsey buggy, you know, when you're a little kid, you know.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorites from Harley and Austin's wedding. And then one of my all-time favorite moments, I think with my photography, I really like to capture the raw of the day and tell the story. So what I tell people is I'm really just preserving your feelings throughout the day. I'm preserving that day, telling a story, getting all the raw moments for you.
Yeah.
So after Brooke and Jacob got married, we walked through the venue and went out to the other side. And I look over at Jacob. I was taking pictures of them. I look over at them. They're just having their moment. Like right after the ceremony, I let the couples have their moment. I don't stop them and say, hey, do this, anything like that.
Yeah.
They're having a moment. He is bawling.
Really?
Tears, like it's making me tear up right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
He was just bawling, tears rushing down his cheeks. And Brooke's like, are you okay? What's wrong? He's like, I'm just so happy.
Oh, wow.
So
that's sweet.
Yes, it was just, that was one of the most intimate, and that was a great moment.
And you captured it.
And
right?
I got to capture it for them. The pictures of him crying. He's looking over at me laughing because I'm taking pictures of it.
Yeah, that's real. That's something that they won't ever forget. Like they knew that, but now, you know, I'm sure they had so many memories that day, but when they go back and look at their pictures, they can say, you remember when we had that intimate moment?
Yes.
And that was real. Like that wasn't like putting on for the camera, putting on for the people. That was an intimate moment that you captured. That's cool.
Yes. It was just a very raw, real moment that they get to look at and relive throughout the day. I really want people to feel what they felt in that moment when they look back at the pictures. So I actually got a video of them looking through their sneak peeks. And they were crying. It's on my Instagram if you guys want to go watch it.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, they were crying, looking through their sneak peeks. And I remember Brooke looking at me and saying, I just feel it all over again. So that made my heart so happy because that's what I strive to do through my photos.
That's what it's all about there.
Yeah.
So what's the busiest time of season for you? Time of year?
Yeah, my busy season is, I have two actually.
Okay.
So fall is really busy.
Really?
Yeah. So September, October, and half of November, I'm normally doing 2 weddings a weekend.
Really?
So if I am blessed, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. So that's why you said when you're not shooting, you'll go to the games.
Yeah.
When you're not,
Which this year I actually only missed 2 home games.
Okay.
So that was awesome. I've never been to that many in a season being in the wedding industry. So it was awesome. I think me taking a step back from coordinating, I also wanted to live my life a little more fuller.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to the games. I wanted to hang out with my friends, have community. I wanted to be able to attend church on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that with coordinating. So photography, this past year and a half, God's really shown me you can do this and you can still have that life of having community, going to church, and then going to football games if you want to, stuff like that, and do this. So
do you ever help out and shoot at church, take pictures at church anything?
I actually don't. I've never even, we have somebody.
That's Heady. Heady said he tried to
get me, which I agreed to do it, and I really wanted to do it. I don't remember what. I think I had a wedding on that day or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I actually don't. We have a staff member. I go to Countryside. And we have a staff member that actually takes pictures. So,
and you let that staff member do what they do. You're not trying to step on their toes.
Yes.
That's cool right there. So, I mean, I love pictures. Like, I love to look. I mean, in my phone, I have to always go through my phone and, like, delete 1,000 pictures that I have. But like, what about taking the pictures do you love the most? What do you love the most about taking pictures?
So, like I said, that's kind of a way for me to show my artistic side.
Yeah.
So there's 2 things that I just really, that keep me in this industry, and it's the people and the art.
So the people and the art.
If y'all look at my stuff, you see a lot of just like, there's some blurries, there's some fun out of focus stuff. Yeah. I like to edit in an artistic way too. So I feel like some blurry motion stuff really shows just like the movement of the photo.
Okay, yeah. Help me real quick. So, I'm a little bit older than you, maybe just a year or 2. I I've never really understood the blurry pictures.
Yeah.
Help me understand the blurry pictures.
Okay, so Vogue. Y'all know Vogue.
Yeah.
So there's a photographer that just captured a blurry. Somehow her settings were messed up and got a blurry moment. And it was a couple that was walking towards her. And their feet were kind of blurred. Their hands were blurred a little bit.
Yeah.
And you could tell they were moving towards you. So you could see the movement in the photo. And Vogue posted it. And that's actually the photo that I saw. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I see so much art in that. Like there's so much movement in art. So there is a difference. Like there are different types of photographers.
Okay.
There is an artist, like a storyteller type of photographer.
Yeah.
And then there is more of like a portrait style. And there's others in between.
And you're a storyteller.
Too. I feel like I am a good mix.
You're a mix of both.
Yes, I'm a good
best
mix.
of both worlds.
Yes.
I mean, why not?
Yes, I get lots of portrait style stuff, but I also tell the story. So, because I do know there's lots of parents like you. You're a little older than me. I don't know how much, probably like 2 years.
She just said a lot older. Listen, she just told me. She said, you Dusty, you like 78.
Yes, but
no, I'm being
parents
silly.
do want like
I'm
that.
being silly. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
No.
Parents do want that, just like post portrait.
Yeah.
Just the traditional photo.
Yeah, I'm probably more traditional.
Yeah. So I do get lots of traditional stuff too, because I know your family's seeing this stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna want that in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a good mix of the traditional style and then also tell your story and get some fun art stuff that you might want to hang on your wall.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm not a big picture person on my wall type of person.
Yeah.
I'm more of an art on my wall.
I got you. Yeah.
So I feel like those blurry pics are the perfect form of art that you can hang on your wall.
At my house, I have like a 14-foot picture of myself in the living room.
Yourself? What?
No, I'm joking.
Your photo?
I laugh so hard, like on a movie or a show or whatever. When you see something like that, I'm like, how does someone have like a huge painting of themselves? Like if someone gave it as a gift, that's cool. But like I couldn't see myself saying, I want a big 10-foot realistic picture of myself.
That's like the kings. Like back
I am a king because you said King of Kings, Lord of Lords. So
we're all gonna go to his house and see a big picture of it.
I might need to do that now. Anyone listening, just get a lot.
In your OSU gear, you should do it.
That would be pretty funny. That's cool.
Should.
That's what's up. So, when is we're about to end here in a little bit, but I know you get booked out quite a bit. I will say, shout out to everyone having their weddings in the fall. Like I never understood it because I'm like, man, that's football season, But there are a lot of weddings that I have to miss. And I notice now that you say it, when I think about it, there's so many weddings that I do miss because it is in the fall and I have to be at the games, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about like how much in advance should someone like try to get with you? What do they normally do?
So if you're lenient on your date, you can contact me 2 months out.
Okay.
But you got to be lenient. If you've got a date that you for sure want, you need to contact at least a year, sometimes more.
Wow.
More out. Yeah. So right now my 2023 is pretty booked solid. I am taking a few more weddings. So it just kind of depends. Senior wise, I do seniors as well. And seniors, I normally just take 10 a year and first come, first serve. So
there we go.
Right now I've got like 4 spots left for seniors for this spring. So
shout out to the seniors, or if you know someone who's a senior, go ahead and hit up Hanna. Now, Hanna, we're about to end this, but how can they find you? Like, what's the number or your Instagram or whatever? Like, come on, tell us.
I got so many ways to contact me.
Come on now.
My phone number is 405-614-4428. And then Hanna Runner Photography. They can look me up online.
Without the H.
Without the H.
Hanna without the H at the end.
H-A-N-N-A.
Not at the beginning, folks. It ain't Anna, it's Hanna without the H at the end.
Yes, so look me up online on Instagram, whatever. But you can find me. I'm sure. I feel like I've made it easy for y'all to find me. So
boom, there we go. Hey, shout out to Hanna. Thank you so much for spending your time and your day with us.
Yeah.
Love what you're doing. I love pictures. We need that just to capitalize. Is it the right word? That moment.
Capture. Wait, what are you trying to say?
I don't even know. I think I'm thinking about a capsule or something. Maybe it's Matrix. I don't know. But anyway, hey, as you can see, we like to have fun here at StillwaterAmerica Podcast, and we do not edit anything. You just get what you get, So we're not editor like Hanna is the editor. Here with Heady, we're not the editor. We're just gonna play this, right? So anyway, Hey, shout out to y'all. God bless. My name is Les, nevertheless Thomas. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. That is Stillwater America Podcast. Peace.
Bye.